So we introduced PUP, a strength-based approach. It's an Australian model, Griffith University in Brisbane. The author's a lady called Professor Sharon Daw. But basically, it's to empower parents to believe that they can be the best parent that they can, develop nurture and loving relationships with their babies and children, and ensure that parents are able to understand and manage their own emotional state. Put simply, this is gone, is the PUP framework. So what we have right now is, we've spoke about the CRA framework as a case management tool. What we've introduced to the High Risk Family Service is the PUP framework. And basically, put simply, in the middle there, up at the top, parenting values and expectations, at the top of the blue inner circle. The parents didn't have a point of reference of positive parenting. 80% of them had been in care themselves. They had a deep mistrust of social services from their own experience. So they had a lot of disciplinary strategies. Their behaviour when being a parent was a lot of disciplinary strategies. And they certainly didn't feel that they had secure attachment, and they'd limited emotional availability. So that inner circle basically is looking at all the areas that the family needs support with, the parent needs support with. In addressing those, the outer pink circle puts in place parental emotional regulation. The argument is, if we deal with that on the inside and give the space to do such, the emotional regulation for the parent, which in turn results in the child development outcomes being much, much improved through a nurtured relationship with the family. A randomised control trial was conducted on PUP. I won't go into it, but it's a community-based intervention. Our study put it into a residential context for the first time internationally. It's a community-based intervention originated in Australia and used widely in England and in some other European countries now. But it basically shows significant reduction in potential child abuse, significant reduction on parenting stress as well. In September 2018, we launched our own study. Trinity College Dublin launched the study, which evaluated the parents under pressure in Coolmine. We wanted to look at the effectiveness of it and the feasibility of it in the group format. We had 23 mothers with 10 fathers. I'll share these slides. There's quite a bit of detail on them, but essentially I just want to share with you now what it showed. The levels of depression, anxiety and stress at start to finish had decreased significantly. Notable shift in how the parents viewed their children, setting boundaries. They were much more, they had struggled with that previously. They were much easier and felt much more equipped to set boundaries. Notable shift in how they viewed themselves as a parent. And the most significant piece within that was a transformational change moment in the group setting, which is something that has given Sharon Daw and her colleagues some food for thought, because it was like the Me Too scenario. So this is a home intervention delivered in people's homes, but what we had done was bring it into the group setting. So as a parent, identifying that I felt deeply shamed by the fact I was drunk and didn't realise my child was at risk or at harm, there was a lot of Me Toos, and that seemed to give it just significantly opened up the parents' the parents' capacity then to actually look at what positive they were doing and the fact that they could be the best parent that they could be. Very much. It also used video footage as well. So we'd recorded the work and the interactions, and we would only show the parent the positive interactions, the moments where their child looked at them, where there was very loving, nurturing moments, etc., just to reinforce that they could be the best parent for their child. Mindful parenting questionnaire and the support, and both of these increased significantly as well, which we would expect and we're very pleased with. How are we on time? We're nearly there? We're there? So where has it arrived to? I guess what the Parents Under Pressure study did show us, however, is that there's a lot of challenges for families as they are in communities. Childcare, developing recovery capital, developing social capital and community capital. And that's led us to where we are at now, which is our next journey, which is looking at continuing to focus on the personal recovery capital of our clients, their social recovery capital and their community recovery capital. I think in here there's a lot of lessons from the mental health recovery movement. You know, and we can only infer that individuals, this is a quote from David Best, we can only infer that individuals can only make significant strides to lasting recovery if basic enablers are met. A safe place to live, freedom from acute physical, psychiatric distress, and freedom to make choices and a clear sense of determination, which is about accurate information. We have a duty as service providers to provide accurate information and provide services that are responsive to presenting need. It's also to instill hope, and I guess this is where I like, and this is certainly the journey we're building in our next strategic plan. You know, recovery is possible. But recovery isn't only about abstinence. Recovery is about creating support for people who may be on methadone maintenance. You know, support for people with their parenting, even though they're not abstinent. That shouldn't be a predeterminant to access treatment or support. So, look, I guess, and Shane referenced it, I've put up a picture of it, the Reducing Harm Support and Recovery Strategy. But it is a health-led response, and that is where we have arrived at. And it is a cross-cutting policy framework, which I think is extremely encouraging in that we have Department of Housing there, local authorities, Dublin Regional Homeless Executive, we have the Department of Children, TUSLA, focusing on better outcomes, brighter futures, and to a lesser degree, but still very relevant, the Department of Justice, the Irish Prison Service and the Probation Service. So there's a lot of cross-cutting policies and a lot of cross-cutting agencies that are required, and therein lies a challenge. So conclusions, look, what I want to leave you with today is that an overemphasis on the treatment philosophy can hinder the integration of evidence-based practices. I think evolution, maturity of services and the integration of evidence-based practices is what we all need to do. Treatment for all aspects of the clients' lives, a case management approach and a holistic approach. Familial employment, the substance use is a feature, but house and social life are more important in many ways and are essential. Social learning models and strength-based approaches are the way to go. And recovery capital, community support, social integration and positive reinforcers. This is what works for people who need treatment in our communities. And don't forget a quality of life lens when we're looking at outcome monitoring of our service provision. I'm done. Thank you.